Okay, the study focused upon the Unfair Competition Act from the United States and the impact it will have for manufacturing companies in 6 key emerging countries, which constitute 40% of the world's pirated software is, and over 50% of the manufactured products which are actually imported into the United States. So aside from India, we looked at China, we looked at Brazil, Mexico, Turkey, and what our findings were that there are 2 dimensions to this. So one is that if a company goes software compliant, it creates a competitive advantage for itself, because this is going to become part of the evaluation criteria for any big US buyer when they're looking to find a new sourcing partner. So if you're a manufacturer in India today, it is almost going to become critical for doing business going forward to be software compliant. On the flip side, if you choose to stay non-compliant, then what our survey showed was that the average respondent was about $129 million revenue company, of which about $35 million was the product being exported to the US. And you are immediately putting that $35 million of revenue at risk. Because if you get found out, then the law states that you cannot sell to the US directly. You cannot even sell to the US indirectly. In other words, you can't sell to, let's say, a Nike or a Walmart or any of these companies. And not just that, the US can actually impose fines on you for distorting competition in their country and for selling products which have effectively stolen inputs in their country, which is against the law over there. So it is imperative for Indian manufacturing companies to understand this and do the right thing in terms of driving up the compliance from a software perspective. From a government perspective as well, they really need to understand that the huge manufacturing push that they're putting in place and the export drive that they want, all of that will be put at risk if they neglect this critical dimension of legal and ethical business. Not just that, we also believe that just like the child labor laws, for example, or the blood diamond laws in the past, this law is going to not just stay US-centric, but also pervade into other Western countries. So it's going to become a wider issue for us to deal with. And it's imperative that we recognize that, we recognize its importance, and we put action plans in place as quickly as possible, both from a government perspective, but also at an individual company perspective, to make sure we are not on the wrong side of the law. So that's really what this study is all about.
Can you share some of the suggestions to both the government and the vendor ecosystem?
Well, we haven't really focused on making too many suggestions. The study focuses more on unearthing what the new reality is. But there are various industry bodies like the BSA, for example, which are making it very easy for companies to become software compliant. They're offering automated tools. There's a website they've put up which any company can use, and Indian companies are actually using. We know, for example, KPIT has got itself formally certified as being software compliant. So they made it very easy for them. Similarly, there's consultancies who offer software asset management practices, so they can come into your IT systems and inventorize your software estate and help you understand whether you're inadvertently also pirating software and how to become compliant. And most of the large OEMs have programs in place where a company which has traditionally been non-compliant but now wants to become compliant, they'll offer a sort of a runway over a period of time to ease the process from a financial perspective of the company becoming compliant. So those are the various dimensions, and of course the government has laws in place already. They should try and raise awareness as much as possible, but equally the law enforcement agencies need to take a more active sort of role in enforcing software compliance, and they need to recognize this is as much a theft as is the theft of a car or a camera or a phone or a piece of machinery.
Just last question: if some of the vendors reduce the software drastically, will it improve the ecosystem? I mean, at least reduce the piracy. It will be more affordable to the consumer.
Well, vendors have already done that. So if you take any of the organizations, the large software houses, they tend to be American most of the time. Most of them have what is called emerging market pricing. They make it easier for companies to invest in the software here. They lower the price points. They offer attractive financing plans. So there are all kinds of models that they've already put in place. But ultimately, really, piracy is not so much about software cost, because that cost anyway is a very small percentage of total operating cost of any manufacturing company. But it's more about the recognition that you're indulging in theft and you're breaking the law. And there is that dimension which the end user companies need to recognize. It's about keeping compliant with the law. It's not about the amount of money that you spend or don't spend. Okay. Thank you very much.